So we're going to begin today with a kind of a basic Dantian breathing exercise. Okay, so I've got this picture here. We can see this giant sort of sphere in the abdomen. This is a little larger representation of the size that we get in Dantian size. Usually, my teacher said it's a little larger than your fist, but a sphere, a three-dimensional sphere. If we think about, if you read Qigong books or sometimes a different Taoist, maybe meditation books, a lot of times there's a different sort of different location given. My teacher said, don't kind of get into trying to figure out the exact location. But physically, we could also think the center of the Dantian would be your center point of gravity. Like when you're walking or balancing, you have what's called the core in sports and dance. In a lot of different disciplines in the West, they talk about core strength or your physical core. And so the physical Dantian is kind of what we think about as the physical core. It's also that place where we're encountering gravity, where we're balancing our whole being, like when we're walking or jumping, skateboarding, surfing, doing a handstand or something like that. That place where we balance and we connect with the gravity. This is our physical Dantian. So a lot of times they talk about it, 3 finger widths below your navel, and then 3 finger widths towards the inside. So we can think we have the navel, we also have a spinal cord and the kidneys. It's in that very center place. For women have a womb in their body, which is an empty space. And so for women, the Dantian would generally be experienced like inside the center of your womb. And so for women, because young women will have menstruation, women have to really observe how these exercises affect them sort of during menstruation, because if they do a little too strongly, it can cause more blood to collect in that area, because your mind is concentrating, and so extra blood can go, and then you feel discomfort or fatigue. So a lot of people who don't have experience, they'll just tell women like, oh, don't practice during menstruation, and that's not really good for a serious practitioner, because you want to really have a daily practice and like that. And so sometimes, like with the breathing exercise I'm going to teach today, I'll say the same thing. Maybe don't focus strongly on this exercise during menstruation, but during menstruation, and I've had students with female students who 9 or 12-year students, and I really talk to them about their experiences to try and learn more about this. And a lot of my female students, they, because they learn how to not concentrate too strongly, they concentrate in a balanced way. A lot of them do focus to their lower Dantian during menstruation, and they don't have any problems or like that. Okay, but as a safety mechanism, they talk about women can focus to the middle Dantian. This is like the heart center during menstruation, and it's really every person is different. Every woman is different, and we've all had different life experiences. So you have to really observe and what's reacting. But that's just for safety. I talk about that, and that's something women have to deal with. And sometimes women will also, when they start to practice, they actually have they call blood deficiency. So this is, of course, like an iron deficiency, but can be also a type of energetic deficiency because of this menstruation. So that's something with diet. Sometimes there's for example, it's called the Woman's 8 Treasure Tea Pills. You can sometimes order this like on Amazon. It's a herbal formula. This nourishes women's energy and blood. And a lot of my students, when they take that, they're like, oh my God, they feel it's a formula made for women called the Woman's 8 Treasure Tea Pills. And also, for example, like goji berries and the logan, dried logan berries. And these are all classically really good for women's health, nurturing women's strength and blood. So then as women, you know, you guys have to observe how you react to practice. And sometimes if you do have a blood deficiency or iron deficiency, that you have to deal with. Okay, just to, and for men, we've got our, they talk about, we men are generally sometimes too emotional, we're too external, and so we have to learn to be a little more yin, a little more nurturing and internal. So we'll begin here today. We'll come and generally you want to have a firm pillow is best, because when we do this, we're going to engage two what we call locks. Okay, and so we have a energy locks that we use in different practices. So for example, we have a neck lock and the locking the perineal floor. Okay, so when we lock the neck and we lock the perineal floor, this will concentrate breath and energy in the chest and abdominal cavity here. Okay, and so energy can move from here, go up into the head, for example, or go down into the legs and feet. So then in this exercise, we're going to take a position and that will help to make, these are subtle locks. We're not really contracting and doing something hard here. But you want to have, if you do a small pillow, just like this. So you can begin like this for relaxation purposes, but the exercise will draw the legs up like this. Okay. So by doing this, it's creating a subtle lock in our perineal floor. And we have the head slightly tilted up, which creates a lock in the neck. And then we can concentrate this area. If we look at breathing in the Taoist school, there's really two basic physical patterns, and this is often called natural breathing and reversed breathing. Okay. Sometimes people who aren't that educated about this sometimes even call the natural breathing Buddhist breathing and the reverse breathing Taoist breathing. But this is a Taoist school of practice that we're teaching, and so we use the term natural breathing, or it can be even we sometimes just call this Dantian breathing. And that's when we'll have expansion of the belly, expansion also the lower back when we inhale, and then a slight natural contraction when we exhale. Okay, and that's what we call just regular or natural breathing. That's really the beginning place. That's where we begin. The reversed breathing is a lot of times misunderstood or not taught really correctly. And it's taught that you inhale, you contract the abdomen and allow the chest to expand. Then when you exhale, you close the chest and you expand the abdomen. Okay, we're not going to teach that today, but we have a pretty nice method in our school with reverse breathing. And if we try to understand these different techniques, they can be used in different ways, but basically the reverse breathing is trying to draw energy from the Dantian that you've already developed and push it up the spine, or have energy start to gather around the spinal cord. Okay, so it's a little specialty practice, but it can be used in different ways. The natural breathing, this is just in the beginning, the big goal is trying to get the mind and the energy to gather in the Dantian and to make this connection of mind and Dantian. And so energy will start to gather and form here. And this is really the big goal, or the big aim that we want to accomplish. Okay, and so that's what we're going to work on here. Now, this is the big problem, is our mind, and we don't have maybe a trained mind, we don't have a disciplined mind. And so we have a scattered mind. And so this is the big problem in the beginning. And so one, you just have to learn how to concentrate. And so we are concentrating here to this physical area. And we place our hands here, which helps to lead our mind to this area. So you can do just whatever's natural, but you want to try to have your palms or your hands a little lower than, so my navel's here, so a little lower. Okay. And just for me, my elbows can touch naturally, maybe different body. Your elbows might not be able to reach the floor. You can put a pillow here so you're not uncomfortable if you need to put a pillow to support. But you want to try to have a very comfortable position. And then over time, my teacher used the word embrace, okay? And so this is not, he didn't use the word mind concentrates to the Dantian in this exercise. Mind embraces the Dantian. And that's a really different image. If we look at embrace, that's like a hug, okay? So we take a person or a tree, tree huggers, and we do like this. And if we're really hugging a really good friend, sometimes we'll hold it for a long time, right? We're not just, it's not touch and go. Okay, we do like this. This is an embrace, okay? Surrounding. Okay, and so this is also we can experience when we do this exercise over time. Our mind embraces Dantian. If you really practice well, there can be a naturalization that takes place. So your mind basically embraces your Dantian all the time. And this means you would also be doing Dantian breathing all the time. This is called return to childhood condition or return to childhood breathing. Okay? So that's this concept of embrace. It's very important. So take your hands, place them on your abdomen. You can little adjust so you feel natural. And the first thing I want you to do here is let's just a little poke around and feel the condition of, is your belly tight? Is your belly loose? What's going on with your abdomen? Okay. Do you have any pain? You might have some pain. Okay. Now, these are your floating ribs. This is your solar plexus. For a lot of people, because of habitual tensions or habits, your floating ribs will kind of pop out and your abdomen feels collapsed. Okay, and this is not the condition that we want. Feel up above your floating ribs. This is your intercostal spaces and your intercostal muscles here. We want to have the intercostal muscles slightly pushed down. So your floating ribs actually are also pushing down and a little closing in. They're not popping out. Okay. When you do that, you might have a little change in the buoyancy of your abdomen, and this is good. Basically, when we can have more of a mental embrace in the abdomen will not collapse even on the exhale. Okay. And it's best if you can touch my belly, but you can't. But later, if we can sometime meet in person, you can really touch and feel physically how I'm breathing. And that really helps you get an idea. But we just do this the best we can right now. And you're going to use your own hands to try to feel this condition of your abdomen. Okay. So let's really concentrate and keep our mind and our Dantian and our abdomen. Let's just take a deep, long breath and try to feel your abdomen expands and opens. Exhale. Now, don't focus on your exhale, but exhale slowly and naturally. Keep your focus on your Dantian when you exhale. And try to keep some buoyancy in the abdomen starts to contract, but your Dantian contracts. And so this means your energy will gather here. You gather your energy here. And when you feel you've exhaled fully, naturally, just begin a slow inhale again. Now, as with our breathing style in our system, we want the breath to be subtle. We don't want to make a lot of noise. Okay, and so some yogas, they teach to tighten the throat and make a lot of noise when you breathe. We don't do that in Taoist breathwork. We want to really create a subtle and silent breath. We're more focusing inside of our body because we want to engage the chi energy. So inhale as long as you can. Let your abdomen get really big and full. And exhale. Slowly contract, but don't collapse your abdomen. Now, as with our foundation teachings, we have this idea of an inner nurturing when we breathe. And so just be aware of how you're concentrating and focusing, and we don't use aggression, we don't use force. Okay, and sometimes in Taoist terms, they call this an angry intention or angry force, okay? And so we want to have, it's like a healing intention, a loving intention, a nurturing and caring intention, this quality. And so this is more loving, heart-centered quality. We breathe like that. So this also helps to produce a balanced, healing energy. This is what we want. We're not looking for power or strength. So inhale, really expand, open your abdomen. Exhale, gently contract. But don't collapse, keep some buoyancy. So you've exhaled now, and just try to hold your abdomen and feel if you have a little buoyancy here. Just go around and little poke your abdomen, feel below your navel. What's going on here? Are you collapsed? Is it really tightened? Okay, so some people, if you have a lot of tension, might be really tight here. So this over time, we want to let the muscles here relax. We've got a really flexible and open abdominal space. Okay. Let's come back, place your hands below your navel. Just take a breath. Just let it expand and open as big as it can. Just slowly exhale, slowly and gently, and let the abdomen and the Dantian center contract, gathering your energy. So don't let your mind come out of here and go up into your nose, or even some schools, they teach you follow this exhale out. Okay, we don't care about this at all. We're constantly embraced here. So we're trying to gather energy. Okay? And so we have an exhale. And so we're letting this come out. We're not concerned with our exhale. Really, when we inhale, the breath doesn't begin with your nose. Breath is beginning from here. Okay, mind is embraced continuously here. We inhale from here. This opens, expands. And exhale, but this contracts, gather your energy. Now, when you can do this well over time, you'll feel warmth inside your dantian or abdomen. And my first experience is it really almost feels like a water or warm water. And you've got some warmth here. And it's usually very subtle and gentle in the beginning. And a lot of times you'll feel it, and then you'll go, oh, I feel warmth, like Jesse talked about that. And then it totally just is gone. It disappears. And so you have to learn how to nurture this warmth here, okay? And later you can do it very skillfully, and you can keep it. A lot of times when you feel the warmth here from concentrating and breathing, and then it disappears, one of two things has happened. One is you concentrated too strongly. You maybe got a little excited or curious, and so your mind was too forceful, that pushed the feeling away, or the breath is too strong and windy. Okay, so they talk about this as like a soft fire. We have a soft fire here. not a strong fire, not like a Kundalini practice. Okay, we're creating a very soft, gentle fire, but we want to allow it to be continuous. Okay, it's constant. It's a constant warmth, and this warmth is this is sexual essence, or just a Jing. We call it Jing essence, vital essence energy, is slowly transforming into inner chi energy. And that's what that warmth is. It's a transformation, beginning of a transformation process. And this is called Jing transforms into chi, or vital essence transforms into inner energy or vital energy. Okay. The third transformation is vital energy transforms into spirit or spiritual nature. These are the three transformations in practice. And so when you start to feel that warmth, that's a sign you're practicing correctly and there's a transformation happening. So you have to be like a detached or a distant observer. If you grasp on to that warmth, or you which I did, and everyone really does, because it's a really neat feeling, then that just kind of goes, it stops, it goes away. So you have to learn to just let that happen without guiding it or trying to make it happen. And so this is how we can begin this basic Dantian breathing. And when we gain good skill here lying down, and the reason we lie down is, one, we're going to be able to relax. We can really relax in this condition. Okay. And then two is also this naturally engages the lower lock and the upper lock so that we can have more concentration here. Okay. When you get skilled with doing like this, then you can, when you sit, you'll be able to really feel your Dantian breathing a lot better. A lot of times when we try to begin seated, we have too much tension, or not able to relax, and then we can't really click into good Dantian breathing. And so this is a good practice. It's really good. I found if you just do this right when you wake up, before you get out of bed, and kind of make a goal, like you're going to do every day, some nurturing Dantian breaths before you get out of bed. In the beginning, you could just like say, okay, I'm going to do 5 breaths every day, or 8 breaths, 9 breaths, something really easy. And so you make a habit, and then you're doing this every day before you get out of bed. Then you slowly extend that to more breaths, or just don't even worry about time. Don't even worry about numbers, and just breathe. And you'll really start to nurture your energy. It also makes you in a really good mood. You know, you're really built up some energy, some conscious breath work, some inner nurturing, open heart quality before you get out of bed. And it kind of sets the tone for your whole day. Okay, and so I'm not going to spend a lot of time. I just wanted to drop this practice with you guys, and it's helped me a lot in my development. And it's a very simple, and you can do any time of the day, but this will really root if you make it a regular practice, something that you do every day. And so that's the key in the beginning, is not about doing a lot or having I'm doing 100 breaths or whatever, but making the habit, making that habit. And so that's really, I found, the key. And so in order to accomplish that, just to kind of make a promise to yourself, okay, I'm going to do 8 breaths every morning. You just wake up, pop, 8 or 9 breaths, and then just, if you want to, you can do more, but at least do that. And that becomes a habit. Another thing you can do is you can also do this before you sleep. Okay. You have to be a little careful. If you overstimulate yourself before you sleep, you won't be able to go to sleep. You'll get too much kind of tension and energy form. So really do a little extra focus on relaxation if you do before you sleep. But this is really great to do before you sleep. And you can kind of just roll over in your bed and continue actually Dantian breathing very slowly in your sleeping position. And you'll start to have, like this is a sleep yoga, and you have a sleeping practice. And actually you're kind of doing energy nurturing while you sleep, okay? And so just to review what we've done here, you want to make sure your legs are drawn up to engage the locking the lower gate. We have the neck lock here from our pillow. Okay, so chin is slightly pushed forward. Palms are on your abdomen. Relax your body. Let it be supported by the floor. Let your mind have a very nurturing and loving intention towards your Dantian. Inhale, expand and open the Dantian. And exhale, slowly contract the Dantian. Okay, good. So just to take some time to little gather yourself. When you feel ready, we can slowly stand up. Before we get into the joint opening, let's a little work on our horse stance. Okay, so the horse stance is really the foundation for almost all Chinese arts. It's really important. You want to have at least, if you drop down on your knee here, this is a little more than one fist, or at least one fist. I have almost 2.5 fists, so mine's a little wide. I like to have a wide horse stance. This is a basic, and there's a lot of different reasons why this is stressed in the Chinese arts. One of the biggest reasons is they understand that our longevity and our spiritual energy and our qi energy comes from our essence energy, which is stored in the kidney organ. Okay, and so the kidney meridians run down the inside of your legs here and into the bottoms of the feet. So when we're in this position here, first thing we make sure is the knees are a little turned out like this. Okay, and so this is really, really opening our kidney meridians and stimulating our legs. You can really see that as people age, they lose leg strength. Okay, and so this also, we can understand they've lost their kidney essence energy. And so this is a basic exercise that we can do, is just to engage in some squats. This is also really good for your metabolism, for weight loss. Let's take a fist here, close your fist, and really push in and just squat down. Try to keep your spine straight, so like you're sitting down. You just hold for a few seconds and then come up, relax, and push your palms into the ground like this. Okay. This is we're kind of doing squats, going into a horse stance, but then just coming back up. It's a really good basic exercise. Just work on your flexibility and leg strength. You want to make sure that the knees don't go past your toe line. That's important here. Just breathe naturally. It's a really good way sometimes to warm up. And over time, really work on developing a really good root and a really good leg strength. And this is a basic. I want to make sure we don't have any problems with our stance work. Have really good strength in the legs, good root in the legs. So generally, it's kind of looked upon in this kind of stance work. There can be 3 levels. So there's like an upper level, okay? a middle level, and then the lower level. So lower levels almost, or should be horizontal. Your thighs are horizontal to the ground. So depending where you're at, you can do this exercise in the upper level is fine in the beginning. Build up your strength, go to the mid-level. Later, you can really go into the lower level. And just go at your own pace. So let's warm up our joints. We'll get into some excerpts from our 12 harmony form. So let's begin, hands together. Let your thumbs touch. Breathe in and out through your nose. Breathing to your Dantian. Nurturing your energy. Being aware that your feet are connected to the ground, firmly rooted. Relax your sacral bone. Slightly tuck your sacral bone forward. The spine stretches up. Feel like there's a string connecting the crown of your head to the sky, so you don't need to use your shoulder muscles to support your head. Key slightly touch, tongue pressing against the hard palate. Let your breath be rooted to your abdomen, your Dantian. Deeply release tension, relax. Have a natural purity and sincerity emanating from the heart center. Have gratitude for your health, for your life, that we can enjoy practice together. And let's interlace the hands, begin, inhale, stretch up. Use your waist and turn 1, 2, 3, then relax down. As I relax down, I slightly bend my knees here. And I'm going to straighten up, push all the way up, and 1, 2, 3, then come down. And again, 1, 2, 3, and down. Really opening up your lower back here and your waist. And also opening up your shoulders. Just warming up. Again, press up. 2, 3. And again, 1, 3, and down. And again, 1, 2, 3, and come back down. Inhale up, 1, 2, 3, and come down. Inhale up, 1, 2, 3, and come down. Inhale up, 1, 2, 3, and come down. And up, 1, 2, 3, and come up, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and come all the way down. Place hands to your hips. Raise your hands up, open to the sides, palms down. Slightly relax your elbow. We're going to isolate and move from the waist. So move and extend out here. We stretch as far as you can, either direction. This is your inhale. Rotate, relax your elbows back down. This is your exhale. Okay. And then I do the other side. And you can match your breathing to this movement. You can also just breathe naturally, but really, again, open up your joints, stretch your tendons, and relax back to the center like that. Back to center, relaxing down. Place your hands on your lower back. If you can't reach your lower back, just put your hands on your hips. Let's do hip circles. Loosen up your hip joint. If you have a little trouble finding your circle, or maybe you have a tightness in different areas, maybe lower back or hip, it's good to make a physical reference point of a square. Okay, so we have a square, but we're gonna shift the square so that there's a corner of the square in the front, corner of the square in the back, and a corner of the square on each side. If you ever draw a circle, you can see you can fit a square within a circle, or for example, a triangle within the square, or a straight line in the center of the triangle. And we use sometimes these shapes to try to understand movement. Okay, so we want to create a circle, but a lot of times we can't quite find that circle, or we're just not aware physically. And in that case, you want to just make sure you're traveling to each corner of the square. So you push forward here. This is the one corner of the square. And then you're going to just try to reach out to this side to come to this corner. Push out back to the back corner. And push out to the side corner here. And then later, you're going to really, as you traverse each of these points of the square, you'll find, oh, you're actually moving in a circle. Okay, so if you have trouble, that's a really good reference point or an exercise to try to really make sure you're really turning a full circle here. Really want to get hip mobility and open up your hip joints. Really important. Then let's switch directions. Don't hold your breath. Breathe deeply and naturally. Okay, good. Just little release your body, little bounce your body. And just shake out any tension you're holding. Really let it all out. And then just drop your hands and just keep bouncing on your heels. So make sure you really let. This is a very important Taoist practice. We learn to gain flexibility through relaxation. Okay, this is an internal practice. So they don't have an idea we need to do really hard stretching or this kind of thing, because we learn to relax the inside of the body. But that's really difficult, and especially we all have trauma and different emotional wounds or different things from our life. All of that's stored in your physical tissues, especially the fascia tissues. Okay, so this is kind of the Taoist view of a like kind of psychology or emotional healing, that we heal those things physically. In the West, sometimes, people do counseling or all this type of therapy. And the sort of the Taoist idea is okay, forget about the past, let it go. And we transform our tissues in the body, we transform the organs, transform these physical tissues, because from their belief, all of that stuff is recorded. There's memories of whatever has happened to us in the past, especially if we've had any violent trauma or any of this type of thing. That when there's a trauma that happens to us, these tissues will have radically contracted, the fascia tissues. And then it's like emotional and energetic memories recorded in the tissues. And that's why, you know, people can go through lots of therapies and they don't get better sometimes, you know, and just those memories can get triggered. And it's like you're in that situation once again, and you feel those emotions once again, just like you did when the trauma happened to you. And this is the Taoist view when we do these stretches and these movements, and we over time go deeper and deeper into our body, and we can open up these tissue matrix. And really, these are like a kind of honeycomb tissues. They can really expand and contract. That expansion and stretching and repatterning of these tissues, it like dissolves those energetic and emotional recordings if we've had past traumas and stuff. And then this eventually, the Taoists talk about, it's like a rebirth. We return to childhood. So this is when there was a time in our life when we were really an innocent, pure child with no scars, no trauma like this. But that's if we want to take that approach, it also means there maybe has to be a lot of physical work that we do, a lot of movements, a lot of stretching, a lot of standing meditations, a lot of seated meditations. And then these tissues go through a transformation and a change, okay? And so in these types of movements, these are they call tendon transformation, but tendon in the Taoist term includes fascia. If you don't know what fascia tissue is, you know, Google fascia train, Train, some great illustrations of the fascia pathways by a modern kind of explorer of this concept. And these are the pathways that we're really activating in these movements. The fascia pathways are physical. This is also related to energetic meridians. It's yin and yang. So when we really open up these fascia and these tendon pathways, it will also affect the energy flow. Okay, so it's not purely physical. So we'll just go through maybe 5 or more movements today from this. This is a Wuji stance. Okay, this is like a horse stance. This is our Wuji stance. You really need to learn to engage the yin here. This is your yin musculature. So this is coiling here. This coils down into your feet like this. Okay, it's like a coiling, and then you feel really rooted in the stance. If you're using your yang musculature here on the outside, you're gonna kind of feel like this. You can't quite root, but when you engage here, just put your hands here, a little bend down. Okay, this here, your yin, you coil, your feet really root to the ground. And then we've got our dragon's body. We can coil, we can spiral, we can move from this position. Okay, let's take our hands, touch your thumbs together. Breathe into your Dantian, rooting and connecting. And we'll begin with dog searches for the tail. Inhale, grasp your thumbs. Exhale, touch 1, 2, 3. Extend your spine forward, look behind. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bend your knees, roll your spine up. Inhale. Exhale, stretch down. 1, 2, 3. Push forward, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Bend down, and again. Inhale up. Exhale down. 1, 2, 3. Push forward. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bend and up. And again, coming down. 1, 2, 3. Push. Extend the spine. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bend the knees and come up. Inhale, big breath. Exhale down. 1, 3. Extend your spine. Stretch out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bend the knees and up. And down. 1, 2, 3. Extend. 1, 2, 3, 4. And up. And down. 1, 2, 3. Press. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And up. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. And up. And down. 1, 2, 3. Press. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now come down. Exhale down. Now inhale. Image that you're gathering energy from nature and the sky. Exhale, wash this energy through your body from the crown of your head. So really purify everything, cleansing your bones, cleansing your organs, cleansing the inside of the body. Inhale here, push down with the palms. This is like if there's any toxic emotion, stress, trauma, or the Chinese Taoists, they say the sick energy. They believe we can have sick energy in our body. We release all of this into the earth through the feet. And so all this, anything old, sick energy, dirty things, we push this out. So this is a purification. And so this is a purification practice when we do this. So you're really seeking to really cleanse and purify and renew your inside. Let the inside become new again. Okay. Now let's take the hands up. Inhale, exhale, stretch your tendons. Inhale, circle, stretch your tendons to the front, fingers pointing down to the ground. Continue this stretching. Press with force the fingers together. Keep this pressure and stretch all the way back and raise your heels. Then release, drop, and relax the body. Everything's relaxed and loose. And we begin again. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Big inhale up. Exhale out. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Big inhale up and out. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Big inhale up and relax. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale up and relax. So this movement's called the young child praise to the Buddha. So really, this is a name, gives us a image of sincerity of heart. And this also stretches the heart meridian. So really try to have a almost feeling like you're praying when you do this movement. Really feel sincere and pure within your heart. Okay, now let's inhale, coming up. Exhale, gathering your energy. Inhale, exhale. Let everything that you don't need, anything sick or old, into the earth. Now let's lift your left leg, put your palms out, and let's take a wide horse stance. Press forward with dynamic tension, then rotate your palms, press back with dynamic tension. Press down, stretching with dynamic tension. Extend with your forearms out. Press in and come up. Stretch all the way up. Gather your hands, left hand on top. We're rotating a ball. Okay. So just like if I have a real ball here, okay, I have to go like this, okay. I have to move my palms together if I'm gonna change. Okay. I cannot separate the palms. If I separate the palms, the ball will drop out. Okay. So here we're holding a large ball. You don't want this larger than your torso, so you don't want to be like out here. Okay, so you can have depending how you think, you could have a small ball. I'm making a little bit larger, but about the size, at least the size or a little smaller than your torso. And focus on keeping your palms together. Okay. So as we rotate the ball, this is like we're gathering energy between the two palms. Breathing deeply and naturally, gathering your energies, loosening your body. Okay. And if you see my legs here, I'm really moving circles with each knee as I come out. So this ends up, I'm creating if you looked from above, I'm creating a figure 8 shape. I'm moving my body in circles. Okay. And in the beginning, you might not be able to do that. You can just move left to right in the beginning. Okay, so here I would just be moving left to right. But later we really want to engage spirals and circles in our movement. I'm really circling and spiraling here. Breathing deeply, gathering energy between your two hands, loosening your body. Now, when we're ready to finish, we want to come back to center. Inhale, take this ball of energy. Exhale, drop down, draw that energy into your Dantian. Then step up, come up with your left foot. Closing, inhale, gather your healing resources. Exhale, coming down. We can do this a few times really to center when we're going to finish exercise. So really draw a lot of energies in, purify, gather your energies, returning your energies, storing them in the Dantian. We want to compound and keep our energies, making more healing resources that we can use. Now just rotate up, gather your hands, returning back to center. Letting everything settle down and become quiet. focusing to your Dantian center. Let everything calm down, become quiet, gathering your energy, returning your energies. Now let's slightly step out with your left and just open your hands in a natural way, much like you're creating a circular shape. Palms are facing towards your lower dantian. Toes are lightly gripping the ground. Lightly grip the ground with your toes. If you can, lift your perineal muscle up and even slightly contract your anus, your anal muscle. Let these muscles lift up. Let the head lift up as if suspended by a string. Your chin is slightly tucked back. Tongue presses to the center point of your hard palate of the mouth. And you can look out towards the floor in front of you. You can also close the eyes if you don't lose your balance, and just focus to your Dantian center. Let all your energies gather and return back to the center. Don't try to do anything. You can even forget about your breathing. Just rest and try to find your still point, becoming still internally. Just gathering at your Dantian, focusing at your Dantian. Continue focusing to your Dantian. Releasing tension, standing like a tree. From the bottom, it's like a roots connecting, stretching down into the earth. From above, the crown of your head, stretching up, rooting into the sky. So standing between the sky and the earth. Gathering all your energies together. Nurturing your Dantian center. When you practice standing meditation, you will experience different places that you hold tension in your body. So, for example, the shoulders are a common place. If you feel any pain or discomfort when you stand, this can be one from your tendon or fascia tissues are a little weak and you're not able to extend, holding the body still for time. The other, usually more common, is just that you have tension. So if you feel pain, what you want to do is you want to concentrate on the bottoms of your feet and feel like you shake your body from the bottom up. Okay, and you see I'm just kind of bouncing like this. You can just shake your body and shake away the tension, but you want to keep your standing meditation posture. Okay, just shake, 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 shake. Release the tension. Let the body come back. What we're doing when we stand is really we're aligning our skeletal system, and we're not using muscles to hold this type of a posture. But in the beginning, really, you're gonna maybe contract your shoulder muscles or your biceps, triceps, different muscles you'll really kind of contract to hold your posture. So you have to learn to release the muscles, let go of let the muscles open, let the body relax. And really, you can also focus on deep breathing. And let the breath and the chi energy fill up your shape and support the body. And later you want to you can stand a good 15 minutes or so. Some people really stand 30 minutes, 1 hour. Just do as you can. It's another form of meditation, mindful awareness, learning to release tension in the body, and also learning to store and develop energy in your Dantian center. If you stand for longer periods of time, a very unique thing will happen because this is a physical stress. Your blood flow will really increase, much like if you were running or doing some kind of weightlifting. But we're not actually exercising aerobically. So even though there's an increased blood circulation because of the physical stress, we can actually do really deep breathing because this is not like jogging or something. So what happens is when you do standing meditation, you can deeply oxygenate your blood. The blood becomes incredibly oxygenated because the blood circulation really increases from the physical stress. And then because we're relaxed, we can really breathe deeply. And so it's very, very nourishing for all of your tissues and your organs. This incredibly oxygen-rich blood will form from standing meditation and bring a lot of good nutrients to your whole system. To finish, I want you to inhale a little, expand your circle out. Exhale, just draw your palms in towards your Dantian center. And let's inhale again, circling up. Exhaling down, coming down. Inhale, gathering to your Dantian. Just place one palm over the other palm below your navel. Just centering, gathering, storing your energies to your Dantian center. Okay, good job. Excellent. Okay. Any question about what we practiced today from anyone?
Hey, yeah. When you're doing the breathing and you feel the warmth, have you ever felt so much warmth that it's almost overwhelming? Is that something that you should let pass over or just witness?
Well, that's a good question. Like I said, the Taoists talk about, they use the term soft fire and strong fire, okay? And they make this distinction between two types of fire. We're trying to cultivate a soft fire, which is a gentle warmth. So if we have a too strong feeling of warmth, there can be different causes for that. A lot of times we might be breathing too strongly, or we're focusing or concentrating too strongly with the mind intention. Okay. We do oftentimes there's a technique where we transform the sexual energy, or we call the vital essence energy. In Chinese, this is called Jing. And that's usually just in stillness meditation, we'll feel that. But in that case, we do concentrate a little stronger and we'll feel a stronger warmth. But it's not like an overwhelming warmth, but it can be you feel a large area or like a density of warmth. And that's because your energies have built up the vital essence, the Jing. It built up from meditation and it's transforming into qi. But we don't, if you concentrate that too strongly, it's like you ruin the Jing. It gets ruined, it's lost. So in that kind of, we want to have a medium fire, but it's sustained. And what usually happens is that warmth, it grows in density, but then it's like it transforms into a mist. You feel almost like a mist or a vapor, or like a steam rises up through your whole body, and just almost like expands out. And that's a sign in meditation that the Jing energy, it transformed into Qi energy. And usually you'll feel very, very clean and incredibly pure within your heart, and your whole body feels light. And so that's one stage of Taoist meditation. This is a steaming and bathing and a transformation of the vital essence into energy. And usually, if you can do that, it feels almost like you became the sky. You feel really, really pure inside. Okay. And so what I think maybe you're experiencing is just you're probably maybe concentrating too strongly. Okay. And so our mind conscious, really, it's like a volume. You know, it can have a 0, nothing, no concentration, or you can, you know, have a number 5 middle concentration. You can go all the way to like 8, 9, or 10, which is really intense concentration. And different techniques, you learn to concentrate in a different way. And so, yeah, you have to be careful. That also, you know, sometimes like in Kundalini yoga, Kundalini breathing is really different from Taoist practice. And sometimes that really strong, forceful breathing can also create a strong feeling of intense heat in the body. But in the Taoist school has its own goal or aim for what they're trying to do in the practice. And we're trying in the beginning to create rejuvenation with the physical body and also healing with the physical body. And like a Kundalini yoga has its own different goal. It's not really a longevity practice so much. So that's why we use like the subtle breath, or we don't make any sound with our breath like that. And so that's a little different. So, you know, those things you have to experiment, and you try different things, you adjust. And, you know, I would say that's not a bad thing. If you had a really intense heat or something, that's great. You know, something's happening in your practice.
Yeah, definitely the way you described embracing the Dantian. I never, with working with the Dantian, I never experienced it in that way or thought of it in that way. So when just embracing it brought a new softness, and and that's when I experienced a lot of the heat. So I was worried for a second.
Well, that's what you experienced. You know, how old are you, Kiki?
28.
Yeah, so you're like at your peak sexual and hormonal energy as a woman right now. You're really peaking out. So that you have you and I think you eat a really good diet. You do a lot of health practice. So you have a lot of vitality and a lot of hormones, and your Jing energy. I don't like to use the word sexual energy because it's much more than that. That's part of it. It's a whole lot more. And so just your vital essence is really high. And especially if you do Dantian work, that makes even more vital energy. So you just dropped into that transformation. Okay. And so that's a secret. That's a deep secret and a mystical practice if you can start to transform your energies in your body. And that one, it leads to the production of inner energy. Okay, and so usually people are getting energy from breathing and from food. And we also sometimes will also get external energy from family members or lovers or friends. But all of that is external energies. And that's usually what most people encounter. They don't create inner energy. And so in this Taoist practice, this is part of we create internal energies. This is a whole different realm. And so from the Taoist school, we build up this vital essence, this Jing. Then when that starts to get full, and we can do these, we can focus our concentration like this, you'll start to feel warmth. Usually for most people, the Jing energy is low, so the warmth is small. It's not big. They don't have, but if you've built up, this is like you have a lot of firewood or you have a lot of fuel, then it's going to be a bigger warmth. And that's what you do is you just don't react to that. And like for me, when that first happened with my teacher, I was like, whoa, like, wow, what's going on? And so I kind of like couldn't follow the practice, but you keep doing that. You learn not to react, and you just keep a constant concentration. And it's like the warmth just really sustains, and it really builds, and almost like it builds in density. And then you don't react, and then if you can keep your concentration, it's really like it changes into steam, and it's like something goes up. And really you feel also in your center channel here, this goes up, but also really just goes out. And for me, when I first experienced that, it was really dramatic. It really felt like my whole body became really light. And you feel a purity that you've never really encountered before. And for you can also understand like celibacy or these types of spiritual practices, because it's like you feel something more pleasurable than sex. For human beings, that's a really key experience for us when we make love with a partner. We can have these really deep, authentic connections, and also we feel this pleasure. My teacher said that's why humans like to have sex, because we feel something true for just a moment, and so we want to feel that again and again and again. But it's just something actually small. If you do that in meditation and you transform this energy completely, where you feel this steaming, you feel a really big aspect of your true nature, and it's like a bliss. It's a deep bliss. And so it's something you never felt before. So you really want to do that more. And so if you can reach that in your practice, it's like a meditation easy, because you're feeling this something really blissful. It can become kind of addictive. You want to do it again and again and again. So that's just I share my experience. Everyone will experience things differently. Everyone's different. But those are good signs, you know. Yeah, keep going for it.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you so much for sharing.
You're welcome. Yeah. Okay, so I talk to you guys later. See you next time.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.